Hello everyone, this is Urvashi Chauhan. Welcome back to another episode of Courts Today by Livelaw, where we bring you the latest developments from all courts across India. Let us start. Starting with an important update with respect to Manipur violence. As you know that the Supreme Court has been proactively scrutinizing the situation, be it taking suo motu cognizance of the incidents of sexual harassment or formation of committees to look into the matter. Now the Supreme Court has issued certain directions to transfer the sexual violence cases related to ethnic violence which have been transferred to CBI to Assam. This is bearing in mind the overall environment in Manipur and the need for ensuring a fair process of criminal justice administration. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta on behalf of State of Manipur had suggested transfer of trials to Assam because of certain concerns about the judges in Manipur belonging to particular communities and security concerns regarding the transfer of accused. The suggestion was opposed by the lawyers appearing for the victims or the tribal groups, namely senior advocates Colin Gonsalves, Chandra Uday Singh, Indira Jai Singh, and advocates Vrinda Grover and Nizam Pasha. Pacifying their concerns regarding travel of witnesses and victims, the bench comprising CJI Chandrachud and Justices J.B. Pardiwala and Manoj Mishra said that the witnesses and victims could record their evidence virtually. To read more about the directions issued, you can visit our website at livelaw.in. As you know that earlier this month, the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Act 2023 received the assent of the President and came into effect from 19th May. This act diminishes powers of the elected government of Delhi over services. After the legal battle, the Supreme Court Constitution Bench in May this year had resolved the issue between the Delhi government and the Union of India with respect to power over services. Post this, GNCTD Amendment Ordinance was promulgated by the President in May this year. This was followed by a writ petition before the Supreme Court by the Delhi government against this ordinance. Last month, the matter was referred to a 5-judge constitution bench. Now the Delhi government has been permitted to amend its writ petition to incorporate a challenge to the recently passed act. When the application to amend was mentioned by senior advocate Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta did not object to it, and accordingly the bench of Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and Justices J.B. Pardiwala and Manoj Mishra allowed the amendment application. Delhi government, among other things, has challenged the ordinance to take away the powers of the Delhi government to control the civil servants operating within its jurisdiction, and that through the ordinance, the central government has in effect overturned the Supreme Court's May verdict. The matter will now be heard by a constitution bench. Stay tuned for further updates. And now an update on the demolitions near Krishna Janmabhoomi. Earlier this month, the railway authorities began a demolition drive in Uttar Pradesh's Mathura, reportedly razing around 135 houses in a settlement in the backyard of Krishna Janmabhoomi. Against this, a local resident had filed a writ petition under Article 32. Last week, advocate Prashanto Chandra Sen, appearing for the petitioner, had argued in the Supreme Court that the petition would become infructuous if the demolition drive were to continue. Accordingly, the Supreme Court had stayed the drive. Today, the matter was listed before the bench of Justice Aniruddha Bose and Justice Bela M. Trivedi, and it refused to extend the status quo order. The bench was informed by the railways that the demolition was complete. The court also questioned the locus standi of the petitioner, stating that he was not affected by the demolition as he did not live in the disputed area. The bench eventually granted petitioner time to file rejoinder to the counter affidavit filed by railways and posted the case to next Monday. The bench also indicated that ultimately it might relegate the parties to the civil court where suits in respect of the properties are pending. In another update, the Supreme Court today has again extended the interim bail granted to Satyendar Jain, the Aam Aadmi Party leader and former cabinet minister in the Delhi government, in a money laundering case. You already know that Jain was arrested by ED in May last year but was granted interim bail on medical grounds by the top court earlier this year. Today, senior advocate Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, appearing for Jain, submitted that he was undergoing rehabilitation after a crucial spinal operation. However, Additional Solicitor General S.V. Raju vehemently opposed the extension of interim bail and insisted that the application for independent examination by AIIMS be considered. But the bench comprising Justices A.S. Bopanna and M.M. Sonduresh agreed to extend the bail. Jain's main bail application will now be heard on 1st September. Stay tuned with us. And now coming to the Kaveri river water dispute. This dispute is a long-standing one between the states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. It began in 1974 when Karnataka, the upper riparian state, started diverting water without Tamil Nadu's consent. The tussle reached the Supreme Court after the Cauvery Water Dispute Tribunal, that is CWDT, in 2007 finalized the water sharing formula. Besides deciding on the sharing of water, the tribunal had also recommended setting up a Kaveri Water Management Board and the Kaveri Water Regulation Committee. Certain modifications were later made to the award by the Supreme Court in 2018. Last week, the Tamil Nadu government approached the Supreme Court seeking its intervention in compelling Karnataka to promptly release 24,000 cubic feet per second or cossecs of water from its reservoirs, and a plea for court to instruct Karnataka to guarantee the release of designated 36.76 TMC of water for September 2023 in accordance with CWDT's final decision from 2007. A bench of Justice B.R. Gavai, Justice P.S. Narasimha and Justice Prashant Kumar today heard the matter. Senior advocate Shyam Devan submitted on behalf of Karnataka state that there had been shortage of rainfall and a cutback was inevitable. Senior advocate Mukul Rohtagi submitted for state of Tamil Nadu that the immediate problem was that the authority had said that 15,000 cossecs would be released for 15 days. Later it was modified to 10,000 cossecs and the deadline for the same was expiring today. He submitted that if the matter was not heard by the apex court, the further discharge of water would stop. The Supreme Court today stated that it did not possess the expertise to decide the matter and therefore directed the Kaveri Water Management Authority to submit its report on the issue by next Friday. A division bench of the Supreme Court comprising Justices Sanjay Kishan Kaul and Sudhanshu Dholia today heard a public interest litigation pertaining to a petition seeking revival of a joint judicial committee between India and Pakistan to resolve disputes between the two countries concerning fishermen who are arrested while violating territorial waters. Counsel referred to the document which showed the constitution of judicial committee by 4 judges of India and 4 judges of Pakistan. The counsel persisted that the judicial committee was already in existence and requested for revival of the same. But the bench refused to entertain the PIL, stating that political matters must be sought out politically. You already know that 3 bills to replace the present IPC, CRPC and Evidence Act were introduced in the recent Parliament session by Union Home Minister Amit Shah. The bills have been referred to the Parliamentary Standing Committee. The names of the bills, that is Bharatiya Nyay Sanhita Bill, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita Bill and Bharatiya Sakshya Bill, have sparkled a debate among the legal fraternity with respect to their new Hindi names. Regarding this, the Madras Bar Association has passed a resolution raising objection against the renaming of IPC, Evidence Act and CRPC in Hindi. The association said that naming the bills in Hindi is against the provisions of the Constitution and raised a plea that the English names be retained. And lastly, the Kerala High Court has acquitted 7 members of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh who were allegedly involved in the murder of CPIM activist Shahib. The case pertains to the brutal and heinous murder of Shahib in 2015. Shahib himself was allegedly involved in the murder of Vinod, who was an office bearer of RSS. The allegation was that to avenge his death, the accused conspired to murder Shahib. 7 persons were eventually convicted by the Sessions Court to life imprisonment. who then approached the High Court with an appeal. A division bench comprising of Justice P.B. Suresh Kumar and Justice C.S. Sudha stated that they were constrained to acquit the accused, not because they were not the real culprits, but because of flawed investigation and lack of evidence. The court found that the prosecution examined 65 witnesses and proved 158 documents for the trial and relied mainly upon the statement of the person who was riding pillion on the motorcycle ridden by Shahib at the time of the incident. He identified all the appellants in the court and deposed that they heckled Shahib to death. The court found that even though he had previous acquaintance with the appellants, he did not mention their names in the first information statement given to the police. And there was no satisfactory explanation given by him for the same, which made the prosecution case improbable. Thus, the court acquitted the appellants by setting aside the judgment of the Sessions Court. You can visit our website to read more about this case. Thank you for joining us. If you wish to know more details about the cases I mentioned here, you can visit our website at www.livelaw.in. Stay ahead with quick legal updates only on LiveLaw. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe and support us. You can also support us by donating through the thanks button at the bottom of our videos or consider becoming a member at just 89 rupees per month.